Ahead. Like,
All right, what's going on, Banter fam? Welcome into the Friday edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and today we will be once again diving into the NFT gaming landscape and one of the most promising upcoming projects, I would say, especially from an economic standpoint and sustainability standpoint in the space. I'm joined by a good friend of mine, Dr. JPEG. Long overdue. We host a lot of Twitter spaces and we talk to a lot of projects and kind of just really go over the landscape of the entire industry. So happy to have JPEG join me today. Dr. JPEG, how are you?
I'm good, man. Yeah, this is long overdue. But I'm happy that we're here and we're doing it. Okay, hold on. Juanito wants me to give a shout out to the NFA chat. So NFA on the stream. Pop in, guys. What's good? But yeah, thanks for having me, bro.
Absolutely. No, and the community is so strong on that side. So I mean, I absolutely love what you're doing with NF Arcade and all the stuff we've been doing with the space, just collaborating with a bunch of different projects, trying to push this thing forward and shorten the adoption curve. Because I think we both believe in Web3 gaming so much, and we see that all these negative stigmas come across the space, or hacks, Ponzi-nomics with the tokenomics as they call them. So we'll kind of dive into all of that and more in this edition. But I kind of just wanted to let you intro yourself real quick for people in the stream who might not know Dr. JPEG and what you're doing with NF Arcade. So just give a little bit of a background and how you got into the Web3 space, as well as your gaming, background, because I think that's really important too, especially with the project that you're building.
Yeah, so I'm Dr. JPEG. I am Dr. Disrespect's younger, better looking brother. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I was running a consulting company that, up to 2020. I had a buddy that was like, hey, you should put money into crypto. This is a thing that you don't want to miss. And I was like, okay, it'd be interesting. And I remember at that time, I downloaded Coinbase and I bought a bunch of Ethereum when it was like under 200 bucks, and got into Bitcoin, and it was like right before a rally, and it was a lot of fun. With the rate at which these coins rise in price, obviously rise and fall, but it was interesting. So then I kind of started diving in on YouTube, so following channels such as Crypto Banter, and from there, I just realized there's a lot of information. As you know, there's a lot of coins and there's a lot of different avenues and there's new projects popping up all the time. So I decided to kind of hone in on a segment that I really enjoyed, and that was entertainment. So Theta, Veracity, getting into the likes of those and many more that you cover on this show. So that was kind of the start of my journey. And from there, I met a guy, Darren. We started the NFT Research Lab together. It's kind of like a way to show people how to flip NFTs. And yeah, we used that to get into Neo Tokyo. So we had a bunch of people in Neo Tokyo, and how it goes from there. So it's really been a lot of fun. I think that NFTs, as opposed to trading coins, is all about community, and I really enjoy that aspect. And it's cool to see how this space grows. It's cool to see people that you're friends with, or you might have met in passing in a group, maybe like a few months prior, like what they're doing now. They're founders of something, and they really got a lot going on, and you can connect. And it's an exciting time to be in this space. As far as gaming, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's really exciting time to be in the space, especially the ones that have stuck through. We were in a very, very aggressive bull market. Now we were in a pretty aggressive bear market. So the people who are here now, it's definitely going to pay off. It's an exciting time. And then continue on your gaming background.
Yeah, so I've been gaming, since I was super young, man. I think that I've always taken a liking to arcade games, button mashers. Obviously Super Smash is something that I love. Alex Becker still a little afraid to solo me, but it's okay. Sometimes that happens. Becker, I'm ready whenever you're ready. All right. But no, I mean, Call of Duty, just like you, everyone loves a good first-person shooter. And I really look to kind of tie non-fungible arcade back to my roots, in kind of that nostalgic feel, right? Like a lot of people when they see our game and what we're doing, it's always this like point of nostalgia, even like little things that people might like, you know, pass over. But when I explain to them, they understand. They're like, oh, like, nice. That's like that's a good touch. But like even like when you complete a level, like the stage clear, the sound is very akin to like if you remember the boot up sound for PlayStation One, like the little
Yep.
like
So
chimes.
nostalgic.
So
Yep.
yeah, so we're trying to do everything we can to really provide an experience because I think that's the one thing that is missing. I know you're a diehard gamer, and you totally get this, but like I think that what Web3 gaming was missing up until we're like at this like critical point right now is actual gameplay and experience because that's why we play games. No one's ever said, "Oh, I'm gonna play." I'm going to buy Call of Duty and hopefully I paid $60 and I can resell it for 200. No, like typically you resell it for GameStop back in the day for like $10. So, no one's doing it for money, but it's for the experience.
Yeah, definitely. And, that actually leads us right into, I think, one thing that both of us are super passionate about trying to shift the narrative of in the space. And that is the stigma of NFT gaming being termed as play to earn. And that's as descriptive as it is. You have to play the game to earn. It's more like a job than a game. And it's more like a DeFi protocol, just masked with character elements. So, what have you seen as some of the biggest issues in the space so far from some of the big projects that set up with the economics of potentially an inflationary token, which is infinitely printed into the economy, which stimulates the earnings? But as people say, and it's very common, if you don't know where the yield's coming from, you're the yield, so to speak. So, what what is your opinion on the way that the economics have shaped up and the lack of gameplay mechanics that are actually fun in the space?
Yeah, so you bring up a great point. I think that the term crypto gaming or Web3 gaming, play to earn, I think it got like coined and became a buzzword, just like metaverse. You've seen our CNBC and CNN talking about metaverse. You're like, oh shit, there's like, hold on, slow your roll. So I think the same thing happened where, we're at the height of DeFi summer and people were really looking for fun ways to make their protocol stand out. We had you had Squid DAO, you had this DAO, that. I mean, there was like tons of them, right? And I think that at the time people were trying to again stand out, and that I think someone was just like, hey, let's gamify this because that's something that's very common. Like you look like the Nike running app. All it is gamifying running. You're still running, but they try to incentivize you with just different ways to make it unique and fun as far as the experience. So I really think what happened is, like a DeFi protocol was like, hey, like let's try to like make this fun and interesting. And then like it got coined because it sounded good, and then people just took it way too far because to think that traditional gaming audience would have any interest in half of the stuff out there is ridiculous, right? So I really think that it's focused on tokenomics first, right? Not actual gameplay experience. So it's really about the earning experience. It's really about the money, and it's about farming these tokens. And we know how that works with farming tokens because it's a kind of like you said, an infinite supply. Either you're early or you're late. There's like you could be one or the other, and it's a zero sum game. So for someone that would come into this space as a traditional gamer, which unfortunately people have, that they've got some money set aside, they hear that there's gaming in crypto and they're excited, and they put 4K into something, and they find out a few days later it's worth practically nothing. So that was I know that's something that's a pet peeve for both of us because we really want to focus on gameplay experience, and the projects that we've aligned ourselves with and non-fungible arcade is hyper focused on gameplay and user experience first, and then kind of like earning and building it into the model as an incentive or a cherry on top.
Definitely. And as we're scrolling through here, you can just see that the way that the industry was set up with the
Yeah.
inflationary model, it doesn't sustain itself. And it's not to mention that most of these games that we're looking at here, the Axie Infinities, Peg Axie, they're just not too fun. right? And let's just be honest, some of the games like Pegaxi, it's a horse racing simulator. It is literally
Yeah.
no more than a gambling game. You are racing horses at the extent of it, right? And
Yeah.
because it was play to earn, it went through a massive hype cycle because of that aspect, because of earnings. It was nothing to do with the product itself. And that's just being realistic in the space. Most games were invest X to earn Y. And as we see here, that goes away very quickly. Most of these hype cycles were very short lived, like
Yeah.
quick hype cycles, quick life cycles, and then they just start to die. I know we're both passionate about this as well. How would you see flipping the model on its head? Because I know y'all are doing a lot of that at NF Arcade as well. But flipping the model on its head, how would you like to see the way that earnings are put into games going forward to make this industry more welcoming to a Web 2 gamer who doesn't have to see that every freaking game just does this?
Yeah, so clearly these models are invest X to earn Y, and Y seems to be write-offs, right? So, but I think how you can make it sustainable. You look at a project that we're both good friends with, Shrapnel. We spoke to them yesterday. I think that they're coming to market with a first-person shooter, and there's different ways that you can create elements of that game and earn off of it, and then people can collaborate. So it's a collaborative experience. Now I can put my own touch on an item that might be out in the market, right? Like a barrel, for a gun or something like that, and then I slap a skin on it, and then all of a sudden now it's unique. So I think that they've got something down, because you look at like Roblox and these type of platforms. Well, people want an environment where they can be creative, and Shrapnel's tapping into that in a AAA first person shooter environment. So you've got maps, you've got you name it. It's right. I'm pretty sure almost like everything is customizable to a certain extent, and then even giving ownership of that, which is important, and that's something that we're focused on at Non-Fungible Arcade, is giving ownership to gamers, because the gaming market is primarily two parties. Like when you strip it down, it's gamers and game developers, right? And you want to feed that loop and that experience by really incentivizing both parties. So I think that helping gamers become a part of your economy, where it's not just a one-way road, right? Like we have friends at Epic Games, like love them, but when you buy a skin from Fortnite, it's a one-way road, man. Like you're paying them to kind of rent this skin that you can't sell at a later date, because it's it's limited edition rare. You can't give it away on a stream. Like it would be great if we could do something like that here, right? Well, Non-Fungible Arcade, you can earn skins and weapons just by playing our game Citadel Slayer, and it's attached to NFT projects and communities that people are familiar with. And I mean, we can dive into that a little bit if you want, but the point that I'm making is like giving ownership to gamers over the assets that they're participating in your game with. I think it's only the right thing to do.
Yeah, and it's a big mystery to me, and I think I know the mystery. It was money reasons. I think the token model probably yielded these projects a little bit more capital liquidity to play with the investing into these tokens, with the hype cycles, with these inflationary models, while their governance tokens were growing in market cap as well. But I'm just always confused at why people didn't just go with the traditional route of gaming in the first place. You level up, you earn a skin. It's that
Yep.
simple. You buy a battle pass, you buy an asset pack on the store. That is gaming economics at its core right now. These games are mainly free to play, like Call of Duty or like Warzone. You look at Valorant, CSGO, Fortnite. All these games are free to play. So
Yep.
it's microtransactions, which is the whole revenue model. And I don't think that these studios in Web3 really have to shape away or like shy away from those models. I think that that's the way that it could be sustainable, and it relates to a gamer. People buy skins anyway. It's just
Yeah.
in-game collectibles. So I know we see eye to eye on that. And let's get into a little bit of non-fungible arcade, because I know, like we mentioned, you're kind of flipping the model on its head a bit and going with a
Yep.
different route as far as economics go. So put non-fungible arcade into your own words for those who might not be familiar with the project.
Yeah, so Non-Fungible Arcade, basically what we are doing is, again, we're putting gameplay first, right? Like we want people to come in and have fun. Like at the end of the day, that's priority number one. but you're earning through like play to own, right? So through playing the game and hitting certain milestones in the game, let's say, you rack up like 1,000 kills, just as a very basic and easy to understand milestone. You can unlock certain items. So it's a skin or a weapon. It's limited edition, right? So it's seasonal, so that it's only one time that you'll be able to have access to that. And now it's unique because it is a digital collectible that you own, right? So this is something that you have unique ownership over. And, I have friends that, still have Pokemon cards from 20, 30 years ago. And then, I also have friends that, sell and flip them right away. So it's all about, name of the game, how you want to do that. But we're giving unique ownership to, our community and to the gamers. And then from there, we have a leaderboard. Gamers are competitive, right? So in season 1, we have a prize pool of 500,000 USDC. And that's up for grabs for anyone that's on the leaderboard. And to simplify it, basically, you earn tickets for each game. Is kind of like a point system for each time you get a kill and do certain things in the game. So you want to get as many tickets as possible in each game that you play. And then at the end of the season, which is 6 weeks, you have an opportunity, if you're at the top of the leaderboard, to participate in earning from that prize pool. And then, there's another side of the model where we're going to be rolling out a segment for creators and indie developers where they put their game on our platform. So they get an actual arcade machine, and I can pull up my screen and show that to you. But, it's unique because they'll be getting their own machine. And each time a player goes up to that machine and puts in a token, that game developer would earn from that. So it's really creating an economy. Again, that's our big thing is focusing on, you have gamers, you have game developers, and that's our core audience. And, that's really who we want to prioritize. So I just shared my screen. Let me know if you can see that.
Yeah, I'll bring it up for the stream, and I think it's amazing. The concept of it functions as a literal arcade. I mean, it literally the model, like you said, you walk in with your tokens, you kind of plug it up, so to speak, to to your account. You put it in the machine and you start to play, and it's that simple. And you're fighting for prizes. Like you're going up to the prize thing right now, for example, and you're fighting for prizes, just like an actual arcade would be, but you're fighting for that first season of 500,000 US. It's USDC, I believe. It's paid out in stable coins. So there's not an ecosystem token that's susceptible to dump with the prize pools as well. So can you lay out kind of like the mindset behind going with this leaderboard model? Because I think it's something that is missing in Web3 games. I think that there's not enough competition, not enough esports or tournaments or prize pools. So what led you to go this route? Because I know we see very eye to eye as far as the space, and that there's a lack of this type of stuff, event-based, community-based rewards from the ecosystem of a game. So what inspired you to go this route? And, can you tell us a little bit more about the $500,000 prize pool?
Yeah, so what really led to that is the idea of wanting to give back, but in a sustainable way, because you realize that at the end of the day, if you want to look at it, get a benefit of the doubt. Let's say that these projects were like, hey, we just want to give people that participate in the economy an opportunity to earn, right? Like with these DeFi games. Well, the benefit of going this route as opposed to that is it's sustainable. It's something that we can really we can incentivize gamers to participate, and we can reward them in a unique way with both play to own. So if you're more of a casual player, well, chances are if you hop in the game and play for a little bit, you're going to unlock a unique asset that, again, you can sell, you can hang on to, whatever you want to do with it. It's yours to own. So you have that aspect of it. And then more competitive gamers, you're looking for the leaderboard, right? Like we're all driven by competition. I don't feel like I want to speak for gamers, but at the same time, I think that competition is key and really a driving motivator to push people to do better in gaming. So we're like, hey, like let's do this in this way that's super exciting. It's sustainable because it's something that we can push and kind of help with the inflow outflow of of USDC. Like you said, it's not like some token that people have never heard of. It's not something that is unfamiliar. You talk about capturing like a traditional gaming audience. USDC is something that registers, right? Like everyone understands. If I tell you 500,000 USD, it's $500,000 versus some like talking about, I don't know what, like about
20
500
Bitcoin. Yeah,
exactly.
20 Bitcoin or something.
It doesn't register. So again, it's just trying to break down those barriers and garner more interest from a traditional gaming audience. I know that you're our advisor Sean, 30 years experience in the gaming industry. I know you guys are friends too, and that's something where he's kind of helped us develop this, to just those small little nuances will just make it that much easier for people to come on board.
Yeah, I love the entire approach to the ecosystem as we're seeing some of the inventory, the weapons, and on top of this, mentioned how you're collaborating with other communities. Boom. This is an amazing little segue here because we always talk about cross collaboration, and I say it on the stream too all the time that we need to see games that are willing to take characters from other ecosystems and do some sort of cross metaverse or cross game collaboration. So as we're looking at here, I believe I see an ape, I see some sus characters. I think I see a Degen Hooli down in the bottom left. So
yeah,
can you tell us a little bit about the partnership integration with characters into the game? Because I love this aspect.
Yeah, I think the big thing that we wanted to do was figure out a way that we can come together and work together, right? Like, what is it? A rising tide lifts all ships. So I think Web3 is an environment that there's a lot of great people in Web3 gaming, and really are trying to push this space forwards in the right direction. So reaching out to projects and speaking with projects such as Imposters. We have our friend Elio there. Talking to My Pet Hooligan. You made the intro for us, and speaking with Tyler, and they're excited, and such on and so forth, where you have apes, you have mutants, and other projects we're integrating. Some I'm not going to reveal today, but the point and purpose of this is a collaborative effort where we're in a bear market right now. So if I can provide utility to a project that might they're like looking for ways to get their audience excited, and we can provide that. Hey, we're going to create a skin. We have artists that have worked with Disney, MTV, Adidas, NASA, and they're going to make a skin of a character from your collection that your audience that are part of your collection, they can use for free in our game, right? Like, and it's an actual collectible. It's an in-game asset. It's limited edition. And this is available for them. Does that sound good to you? So you can imagine those conversations have gone very well for us, and it's done a lot to help us, with these collaborative efforts that I think we'll continue to see in the future.
Yeah, and I think it's going to sweep the space. I think other games they have to start collaborating more with other games, and as you said, it just brings more incentive for both sides, for both holders of each project to be able to have some sort of connection to the other side and be able to have access to this game with your hooligan, for example. As we see here, you're using a My Pet Hooligan here, and could you turn off the sound effects? I know that they're fire, but just so they're not too loud when we're talking.
Oh, you know what? I apologize. I can't change the sound effects from here. I didn't know that I had my browser noises on. Is it pretty bad?
It's pretty loud whenever you're in action.
Okay. Yeah. Let me get it rebooted here in a second.
Yeah, all good. Just refresh it and you can reshare it. That way the sound effects are off, because I want people to kind of see the game and the progression. It's so classic arcade, and I think everyone's kind of had those games. And this is even up to Gears of War, like horde modes, for example. Waves of enemies come at you endlessly, and you have to eliminate each round of enemies. And it has those type of gameplay elements to it, but it is a side-scrolling action arcade, literally like an arcade game. And this is just, pillar one of the ecosystem that you're building too. I just think it's so exciting, everything that's going on with the project.
I love that you just said Gears of War Horde, because I have not. Oh my gosh, that's like Flashback City. I haven't heard that in a long time. That was such a fun game, and I love their unique, like the running mode, just how it was like it was a small thing, but it added such a unique aspect to their game.
Yeah, that was a gameplay loop that I was looped in quite a while on Gears of War, horde modes, etc. Same thing with zombies, round based progression. You know, how many rounds can you defeat? And that's kind of the concept here. I'll share your screen for you here, and you're back on.
Yeah, so it's exciting because going into this, this is kind of like our proof of concept, and then from here, again, we do have other partnerships that we're not necessarily announcing on stream, but we're super excited about integrating, and it's going to kind of continue to evolve in that direction, and then it gives us the opportunity to introduce collections and games and projects to each other and communities, and that's something that I think is awesome, right? Because that's something that you and I have done for each other is help network and make introductions. So suddenly you have a game that you think is going to be amazing, and you're introducing it to a project that has a strong community, and you're bullish on them because the founders are doing the right things, and it just kind of helps again bring everyone together and move in the right direction. So it's something that we're
100%. And as you can notice here, anyone in the chat too, they all have unique attacks. So the Huli, he's shooting out like beams. And I know
yeah.
the apes have like a banana as their weapon, for example. So there's so many different things, and then so many different integrations with other communities, characters, and just the gameplay loop in general. I think it's phenomenal. And one thing that I think should resonate with people who are listening, if you're not familiar with the project, JPEG is the type of guy who will say, "Let's go to the arcade today." Like he'll ask, "Let's go to the arcade." He'll go to the arcade himself. Like this means a lot to him. Like the arcade style games and building that experience where you walk in and you're just nostalgic, having a great time playing classic games that you love. So this resonates with me as well on why this project is so strong in my head and in my belief system, and having you behind it with those ideologies is definitely a strong point for the project.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. I zoned out there for a second. This game is something that we're really proud of, and again, I think with arcade games, it's something where you can bring friends, and they can play a few rounds, and start getting good and building that confidence and participating. And the casual gaming market is something that I'm super passionate about, because it's something that is kind of in a way for everybody. They can participate and experience that. I think that's super exciting because like you said, we can go to the arcade if we have friends in from out of town. We can bring them along. Like my daughter's played this game. She enjoys it, man. After a couple games, she got good. So it's just one of those things that it's really like that feel good element. But it's fun, and obviously I'm biased, but yeah,
Well,
that's one thing I really do enjoy.
another thing, the learning curve's not too hard, as you said. Like your daughter's able to hop in and get the gist of it after a couple of games, and I think that's another strong point. Some people feel like some of those MMO RPGs, they just get lost. There's just too much to do. They don't know what to do. They get outplayed. Like in an FPS, it's very competitive. If you're not the best FPS player, I can totally see why you would not want to hop on the game and just get crushed by super competitive players all the time. But with your game, for example, it's so easy to be able to pick it up and learn very quickly, as an arcade game should be. It should be, maybe a game or two to really get the controls under your belt. And there's different difficulties, if I'm not mistaken. You can choose, I believe,
Yep.
easy, medium, and hard. So,
Yep.
it suits all players. Whether you're a beginner, whether you're an arcade game junkie, you can definitely find the difficulty and the gameplay here that suits you.
Yeah, man, it's a blast. It's been a lot of fun to just hone this in, see people play it. And we're really looking forward to launching with this, giving away 500K in USDC, continuing to explore options and ways we can partner with indie developers, other projects in the space. We run a space every Tuesday and Thursday where we talk to gaming projects. So almost every single time we talk to someone, we're looking for synergies. So I really think that the future is bright for non-fungible arcade.
Definitely. And I love what you're doing for the whole industry too, and the stuff that we're doing on Twitter Spaces, and the collaboration efforts that your project's making. I think it's brilliant, and I think it's the way forward in the space. And you're always out there crushing the Ponzi-nomic games, saying that they need to be extinct. Your game will go extinct if it's Ponzi. I think it's I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm a little outspoken about that, but it's just because I really, I think people need to realize that this is something where, people are choosing to participate with their hard-earned money in your ecosystem, and that's something that shouldn't be taken lightly. And we want to do the best that we can for this industry, and for those players that come in, and give them a fair shot and opportunity at, first of all, having fun, but then earning and making the most of that experience in unique ways, such as blockchain gaming is bringing. So
yeah, it's fantastic. And so many people in the chat, I will win me some tickets at the arcade.
yeah, man.
Looks so fun, gives me those good retro vibes. Yeah, I think that people are really taking a liking to it, and I can see that as far as the community. I love what you're doing with both aspects, with the gameplay, with the economy, with the community building, putting community first. I think it's fantastic. Is there anything that you wanted to wrap up with before we wrap it up?
Yeah, so if you guys want to get involved and find out more about NFA Arcade, we're on Twitter at NF Arcade. We do have a closed Discord, so we really are getting people to interact, and we're gamifying it where you can solve riddles. You're gonna be able to participate in different games and things like that we do to get in. But I did want to do something special for people who are listening. If you guys do want to have an opportunity to join our closed Discord, you can go to a link. I want to say go to at Dr. JPEG. So it's at Dr. JPEG _ that's my page. I have a link to our Discord, and then there's a code to get in. The code is Mark of Goa. All right. So if you're listening right now on Crypto Banter Live and you're not in yet, there's your opportunity to get in and participate with us. So I'm sure it's going to go fast. So make sure you head right over there. But thank you so much, Johnny. I really appreciate this. Always excited about anything that we do, man. So being able to showcase our game to your audience and tell them a little bit about what we're doing is awesome. Thank you.
What's funny, JPEG, is I had people asking me this morning, what's the password? What's the password? So Major Alpha, join the NF Arcade Discord. I can actually literally promise you will not regret getting involved in that community. It is a community of gamers, and I think that's what we all want in this space. We want gaming to oversweep. We want NFT games to oversweep the current model of microtransactions and move towards the sustainable model of NFT games. And I see NF Arcade as one of those first players that's doing it right as far as NFT integrated and stablecoin earnings. So if you are new to the channel, guys, be sure to hit the subscribe button. We are live here every single weekday on Crypto Banter. Be sure to follow JPEG on Twitter at Dr. JPEG _. Be sure to follow Non-Fungible Arcade on Twitter at NF Arcade, and like the video if you enjoyed the ideologies on economics and gameplay, as well if you are bullish on NF Arcade. I'll be back Monday with another show, guys. As always, play well, my friends.